Thank you for saying that, because it is extended for all players. We started with the Hall of Famers because we started the Hall of Fame, and that was one of the things that we started off with. They said, look, let's go with the Hall of Fame first because the name recognition is big, but we want health care and benefits for every player, even pre-93 guys. We're not trying to leave any of our brothers behind. I played pro football. Do you think I want to leave my offensive lineman behind, my quarterback, my other running back? No. I want health benefits for every player that ever played in the National Football League, also pre-93 guys. So that's what we're fighting for.
But am I not correct that the initial request was really only extended to Hall of Fame members, and that you hope to then expand it to all players? Is that
exactly
correct?
You're correct. Right. We started with Hall of Famers. Right.
You know, I go to a fair number of NFL games, and I am struck when I see former NFL players, and I will not name names here. Their bodies show what they do. They do not walk well, and obviously some of them have injuries that you can't detect visually. So it's a noble cause. But I'm
like I said before, every guy that we're trying to get health benefits for, pre-93 and all players. This is not just about the Hall of Fame guys. This is why we just started with the Hall of Fame, because we started with the big name guys. But we want health care for every player that's ever played in the National Football League. This is our goal. Preaching for the last 3 days. Yeah. I just talked to a guy today. He says, I'm 74 years old, a Hall of Famer. He says, I'm 74 years old, and the only reason I still work because I don't have health care for insurance. That's why I still work. I have a list. I have a list of 51 guys right here that support this. 51 guys: Marcus Allen, Lawrence Taylor, Jim Brown. I have a long list of guys. And you know how hard it is to get in touch with 181 Hall of Famers? Very difficult.
Broader point is a really, really important one, and that is appropriate benefits as they move on in their lives. And
this is how we appoint the board. We ask guys, do you want to be on the board or you don't want to be on the board? Guys say, I want to be on the board. Some guys would say, no, I don't want to be on the board. I just want to represent the guys. I'm for the guys, but I don't want to be on the board.
I see. So the board are sort of self-nominated people who associate with the cause and approve of the initiatives that you're taking. Let me turn to this issue. The NFL does have a pension. I don't know how lucrative it is. You tell me what the average pension is. But the core of my question is the fact that NFL veteran players don't have these benefits a failure of the NFL Players Association, most especially? Now, why isn't the union negotiating to get these things? Because every current player is eventually going to become a former player.
Exactly. You know, one of the problems is that the older guys, Hall of Famers or retired players, don't have a seat on the CBA. That's where the problem is. The younger players, they're just thinking about being young. They're thinking about playing football. They really don't think about one day they're going to be sitting here at 65 years old. You have health insurance for 5 years, but what happens after that 15th year, that 20th year? You don't think about that. You don't think about the older players. That's why the problem has come in with DeMaurice Smith, you know, with Roger Goodell. I mean, look, Roger Goodell makes $40 million a year. That's fine. But you know what? Mm-hmm. Take care of the guys who have made this game as great as it is.
And good afternoon. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam's Sports Reported, Sam's Mental Health Day. We'll see how many stories we go through today. But first, let's go through Clyde Edwards-Helaire. The Dallas Cowboys are over $10 million. Jerry Jones is worth $15 million. And Stan Kronke is worth $16.9 billion. This is according to Google. The NFL is worth $163 billion according to Forbes. Yet players do not have a lifetime health insurance and don't have any way of getting a lifetime health insurance, even with paying for it. Yet these teams are so much greed towards the players and health, because if you don't have NFL players, you simply don't have the game, so you're not making billions and billions of dollars. The NFL states here what are some of the rules as far as health insurance goes. To click here, click on this link. Now, we talk about what is in some of this link. After the premium plan costs about $35,000 a year, NFL does not provide health care they do not even amount to premium payments on their league-owned playing for the NFL. If the Chiefs did not opt to pay Clyde Edwards-Helaire, which they don't have to, the Clyde Edwards-Helaire would be making no money, and it would likely be hard for him to get help. The NFL lifetime insurance will kick in eventually, but not until you're 55. The people I have talked to assume that everyone has lifetime health insurance, just like the veterans. Well, that is not just the case, and even a first-round draft pick like Clyde Edwards-Helaire could have a hard time not making as much money as you think he does. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is worth about $1 million. JCT, president of the NFLPA, issues a highlight of unwillingness to go furthermore into insurance. He outlines Christian McCaffrey, who shows question on is raising concern about health and insurance among the NFL players. Now we talk a little bit about Clyde Edwards-Helaire and what he has risked. Getting help with PTSD is very important. As a hardcore Chiefs fan, it's great we're helping the player, but I don't think it should be counted against the Chiefs' salary cap for helping and standing out like a team. Some teams wouldn't even pay the player. In fact, I think most teams wouldn't pay the player. But how about for some of the money we're giving to the stadiums, we should give it to these players that need some health insurance, or get outside help from guys like Jerry Jones, Clark Hunt, but especially guys like Jerry Jones and Stan Kronke, who are worth around $15 billion to $16 billion. That's a lot of money. You see why Stan Kronke was able to build basically his old stadium. One of the most successful owners in sports, George Steinbrenner, former Yankees manager, has since died. I pay them to hit home runs. And hit home runs out of the ballpark. If there was this situation similar to football, there would be no touchdowns. What is my point? My point is there is no game without the players. NFL players, that's how the owners make money. If they didn't have that, guess what? There would be no football, there would be no touchdowns, there would be no anything. Now you ask me about PTSD and what it is, a stress disorder. PTSD is developed in some people who have experienced shocking, scary, or dangerous events. It's natural to be afraid of after traumatic event situations and fear a part of body flight or fight response, which helps us avoid response and potential danger. In conclusion, a conclusion would come to a person. Conclusion may come to where a football injury happened with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. The truth of the matter is that it has nothing to do with Clyde Edwards-Helaire's PTSD. Likely the NFL would not be helping with his mental health because it's an outside injury of football, but he really hasn't made enough money to help him get the right help he needs. This is stories, according to the USA Today, that what happened to Clyde Edwards-Helaire, LSU, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Jared Smalls were attempting to sell electronics in an area of North Baton Rouge known for big burglary and theft, when one of them apparently shot and killed 18-year-old Kobe Johnson, who was attempting a robbery in Baton Rouge, police said back in 2018, before he went to the NFL. To learn more, tune into this link as well. Next week, we'll take the situation and go more over that situation and also what it means to be sexually taken advantage of. I have some backstory on that. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, well, I don't understand what Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going through. I hope he has my sympathy. I hope he gets to give his own story of what happened with PTSD. Now let's listen in to Lifetime Insurance by Erick Dickerson, a famous football Hall of Famer that played for the Rams. That's Sam Vaughn Sports and Sam's Vaughn Mental Health Day. Next is the Chiefs preview of the game.